Julia! Barely catching her breath, Luann Conover started talking as soon as I answered the phone. Have you heard? Everybody's talking about it. It's all over town. I can't imagine what she's been through, can you? Well, no, Luann, I can't. Who are we talking about anyway? Why, Miss Mattie Freeman, of course. Who else would we be talking about? I mean, Julia, who else did we know who fell and broke a hip and couldn't get help no matter how long she cried and screamed and had to lie sprawled out on the floor all night long? Oh, my, I said, abruptly sitting down. No, I hadn't heard. Is she all right? What happened? But Luann wasn't finished with what she'd started. It's beyond me to understand how you miss everything, Julia. It's not as if you live out in the sticks or anything. In fact, I live further out than you do, and I heard about it more than an hour ago. I would have called you sooner, but my phone's been busy. Yes, and I knew why. She'd been on it. But I said, well, I don't get out and around like you do. That's because you have Lillian to run your errands and do your shopping and everything else, while I have to do everything myself. Every now and then, Luann had to take a little jab at those of us who had household help. Not, I assure you, that she couldn't afford it herself, although I concede that she might have had to compromise on other things, but still. That's neither here nor there, Luann, I said, unwilling to apologize for my good fortune. After all, I'd had to put up with Wesley Lloyd Springer for 40-some-odd years to get it. Tell me about Miss Mattie. Is she all right? Who knows? Luann said, almost in a shriek. Nobody'll tell me anything. I've called the hospital and I've called Dr. Hargrove, and they won't tell me a living thing. They ask if I'm a member of the family. They're the only ones they'll talk to. And, Julia, I've known her for years, which I think ought to count for something. Well, I even called Sue, and would you believe she said I knew more about it than she did? Now, I just don't believe that, because she's the doctor's wife. Who else would know something if not her? When did this happen, Luann? Not 15 minutes ago, and she said she had something on the stove and couldn't talk. Hurt my feelings, too.